Hey, this is John Carlos, and I'm here with a look at the Star Wars Black Series action figure of Zeb. Now, this is my first time encountering the new Black Series packaging. Also, this is a deluxe figure, so the packaging is a little wider, it's a little bigger than usual. But I just gotta point out that gone is the number on the side. They're now going with the color coding. So we have different color schemes for the different, series. So, you know, like Mandalorian figures, Rebels, Clone Wars, all have a different color scheme. They got the number here on the back, but yeah, now they've gone with photos on the side. That is nifty and different. If you care about like the number being on the spine when it comes to you displaying, that's gone. You get a little number on the back now. I'm just gonna rip the crap out of this now. Yeah. Okay, being that Zeb has a few extra joints in his body, that means this action figure has a few more points of articulation than your average Black Series figure. So let's just dive right on in to his legs, which have this little swivel there. There's a hinge, like you've got your knee joint, right? And then you've got his other extra knee joint, which has its own swivel underneath that joint, and then his foot has its own hinge and limited kind of rotations, like a big pivot. And then you start getting to more of the usual Black Series. Double knee joint, the thigh cut, the ball joint at the top of the leg by the hips. You have a ball joint at the mid-torso. You have a hinge and a swivel at the elbow. The hinge and swiveling wrist. This one goes up and down. This one goes side to side. And the shoulders are just like your standard kind of like ball hinge. They don't have that rotating... Yeah, they don't have like a separate thing that goes forward and back. And if it does, it's so minimal. Very minimal. Also, the ball joint, I'm used to having the double ball joint, the one in the head and the base of the neck, but this one's just the one inside the head. The details on this figure are pretty good. One thing that irks me, though, is the two different color yellows that don't totally match up here. It's similar, but in fact this lighting kind of neutralizes the yellow and makes them look almost identical, but this one's a little more faded, this one's a little more vibrant yellow. This glop of paint here on the back of the joint matches this yellow a little bit more. This one's a little muted. That nitpick aside, there's a lot of good paint on the purple sections of his legs. The little claws at the bottom look good. The green, the little details on his little belt there. I like the sculpt of this. I like his proportions. I like his little top section here. Some nice details in this overall. I really do like the head sculpt quite a bit. I wish it was a little more expressive, but oh well. Good shape of the head, nice paint details. I like the shading, the kind of grayer area around his eyes. Beard looks good. I love the mouth. But yeah, really, really clean paint on this head. Really, really solid. I dig that. Now, we also get his bow rifle. And this thing is a doozy, just like in the show itself. This can be compactable and all that. So first of all, it starts off as the bow staff version, which functions like an electro staff with the electric little thingy-majigs flying off at the end. Those can be removed, which I will do now. And then the bow staff can be retracted, so now it's in rifle mode, and that's pretty nifty. And then that can also be rotated into its compact mode. And then you have these little pegs on here that fit into the holes on the back of the figure. But let me just give you a closer look at the bow rifle. I like the little sculpted wraps that go around it. The little gray paint sections on there that give it the little bit of scuffing are a nice touch. Yeah, I think this looks rad. I'll go ahead and just open this up again just for funsies. Yeah, there you go. And then close that up, or open that up. And there you go. There's all the modes. So yeah, and then it fits onto the back of the figure quite nicely, so I'm pretty happy about that. Like the proportions all match up. That wasn't a problem on Hasbro's part, so right on. I gave Zeb a little bend at both of his knee joints, both that front knee and then that back double knee, and he stands pretty good, so no complaints there. Now I've posed him with his legs spread further apart, and that's working out pretty good too. One thing I'm finding interesting is that this figure doesn't grip the rifle that well. Considering it's an original sculpt for the hand, and it's an original weapon, you'd think they would sculpt the hand to grip it better, but that index finger doesn't even fit over the trigger area, and it's just a little weird. But yeah, I dig this figure. It's a deluxe figure, so it retails for about, $29, $30. And your average Black Series figure, man, they used to be 20, and now they're like 22 to 25 on average. So for that, for another $5, a lot of these Black Series Deluxe figures, I don't see what makes them so deluxe where they have to charge more for them. Like, there's nothing particularly complicated about the sculpt of this figure, nor the paint job. Like, he's tall like Chewbacca, and Chewbacca's not a deluxe figure. I mean, I guess in theory you're paying for extra points of articulation and a pretty impressively articulated weapon, so I mean, the weapon's more deluxe, I guess. But yeah, price point aside, or at least value for price point aside, I love that we finally have Zeb. Hasbro has been slowly making Rebels figures into the Black Series over like the course of years, and they've done all of them except for Zeb. Now we finally get Zeb as part of a re-release of all the other Rebels figures, but I'm glad we finally have Zeb. It's a hell of a figure. It looks good on the shelf. I'm still happy I have it. Thanks for watching, everybody, and if you want, you can follow me on social media. I'll put up the links right now. You can check them out or not.